Hi everybody and welcome to my presentation titled Vertical Schools and Mediated Spaces, the Necessity of Interaction with Natural Environment. My name is Ebrahimi Salari from the University of Western Australia School of Design. Population growth and land scarcity have intensified the spread of vertical buildings in major populated cities. The intensity of land use has always been an alternative solution in the face of land scarcity, increasing land value and demand in energy consumption. Therefore, vertical buildings appear in every function of an urban environment. In this new building model, traditional horizontal schools are no longer feasible and are not financially viable. Therefore, to provide an educational environment in today's dense cities, vertical schools have emerged. One of the main gaps in designing today's vertical school buildings is the lack of interaction with green and open spaces, especially concerning children's spaces. The term kindergarten translates literally to kids in the garden, reveals an underlying proclivity for integrating indoor and outdoor learning environments. In today's vertical schools, as a result of this shortage of interaction with natural spaces, mediated spaces are introduced as environments between indoor and outdoor spaces in different levels of the building. This study leads to showcasing the necessity of interaction with the natural environment to improve the quality of learning, health, and well-being of children in school settings. Nowadays, children spend less time in natural settings than was normal in the past. This reduction may have significant consequences for children's health and well-being. Richard Louv invented the term nature deficit disorder to describe the lack of free-range children's discovery of wide lands in towns and suburbs. Despite the well-established advantages of children's play, children participate more in indoor sedentary recreational activities that can influence physical health, like obesity, social and effective relationships, and cognitive performance. The role of school playgrounds in involving children in physical healthy activities has been one of the mitigation factors so far. In this regard, the main questions are the following. Is the connection to the natural environment facilitates the learning process and promotes health and well-being of children? How to transform interaction with natural spaces of traditional horizontal schools to vertical schools? Designing a school and learning environment has always been a controversial issue. It's a highly complex interaction between the child's well-being requirements, learning process, and innovative teaching methods. So let's start with vertical schools as one form of a learning environment. A vertical school has been designed for all teaching, management, and leisure activities in one or two buildings with elevated level outdoor areas. These schools contain 4 to 17 floors in height. Since urban densification is inextricably connected to today's lifestyles, engagement with the idea of vertical school is now eminent. As they move to vertical towers in dense cities, schools will no longer have the land for an open space playground area. Multi-story schools, however, require innovative architecture and pedagogical approaches to ensure direct access to nature and open green areas for teachers and students. The lack of natural playgrounds and schoolyards, outdoor workouts, and regular physical activities are the prevalent problems in every vertical school. Waiting for an answer, however, educators can find it challenging to participate in outdoor learning due to the demands of rigorous national and international standard testing. What are the benefits of vertical schools? I can say not only saving the space, but also taking up less land. This leaves more land available for other development work. It puts the students closer to the resources they need to prepare for their future careers, so near to a CBD. That means working relationships with local businesses and more opportunities for students. The fact that they take up less space also means that you can build more of them. Again, that helps with the overcrowding issue. What's the main difference between traditional teaching and innovative one? Traditional teaching involves the students sitting in their assigned seats, and the belief is that the brain is somehow separate from the body and the body is not very involved in learning. But nowadays, it is widely accepted that learning takes place not only in traditional classrooms, but also in interaction with open spaces and physical activities. Medical research also confirms the body and mind are interconnected. When a person is appropriately engaged in a complex experience, multiple body, brain, mind systems are integrated, focused, and working together naturally. The idea of integrating schools with nature and community is not a newfound phenomenon. As an example, one of the pioneering theorists in children's education, John Dewey, believed that children learn by experience. Another eminent educational theorist, Maria Montessori, advocated that the development of a child's mind comes through his or her movements. Richard Neutra, a modernist architect, argued that the schools must interact with the existing site and the neighborhood. Reggio Emilia's concept also believed that by designing the spaces in a way that creates a pleasant learning environment for the child, a space itself can become a third teacher for the students. This belief represents the fundamental impact of schools on the life and the development of future generations worldwide, and the importance of creating natural and interactive spaces in children's learning environments. What are the benefits of interaction with nature? It leads to decreasing stress levels, more excellent and increased emotional control. It nurtures lifelong positive attitudes about nature and the wider environment. Children will do higher after a nature walk than after an urban walk. Ability to identify risks and opportunities to expand physical growth successfully and mental stability are refined by inclusion in unstructured outdoor spaces. It promotes rich and meaningful learning experiences among students. And interaction with nature also leads to improved children's health and well-being. Play contributes to physical, mental, emotional, and academic growth as it encourages students to exercise conflict resolution, teamwork, collaboration, and problem-solving skills. It also contributes to enhanced social connections around loyalty and obligation, as well as a sense of belonging. Although there is no study on the type and the use of space needed for sport and physical exercise, substantial empirical research has been done and related little extracurricular sports, low levels of physical activity, and childhood obesity to lower academic ability. Recently, there has been a new shift to create ways to change school grounds. All of these programs are related to environmental education. For example, in a study by Titman, he found the students want a place to do many physical activities, to be mentally stimulated and enjoy discovery, to appreciate color, elegance, and ownership, and to be themselves with some privacy. Our well-being is related to environmental health conditions. In terms of the school setting, we generally organize classrooms with sedentary, solo, and indoor environments in front of computer screens. Therefore, we need more outdoor education to redress the above shortcomings. Referring back to the Australian Curriculum and Assessment Authority, the definition of outdoor learning is learning for, with, and about the natural environment. The four outdoor learning measurements are skills and knowledge, human-nature relationships, conservation and sustainability, health and well-being. As said before, children's learning doesn't necessarily take place in a defined classroom. In other words, the best learning happens once kids spend unplanned several hours outdoors investigating, experimenting, exploring, and enjoying. In this regard, one of the forms of outdoor education is called ecopedagogy. Ecopedagogy is often referred to a variant of student-centered outdoor instruction. It also emphasizes the importance of our interaction with the natural world and of a natural direct experience. A 2019 research review by Min Kuo from Landscape and Human Health Laboratory of the University of Illinois claimed that experiences of nature boost academic learning, personal development, and environmental stewardship. In his research, there are clear indicators that nature can encourage learning by enhancing student focus, stress levels, self-command, engagement in learning, physical activity, and fitness. Kuo also proposed a diagram that demonstrates the relationships between the experience of nature and learning, regardless of the context, whether through play, relaxation, or educational activities. According to Kuo, nature-based teaching exceeds conventional teaching in academic contexts. Another significant element on designing a learning environment is well-being. Student well-being cannot be perceived alone from the broader context of the school. Schools can serve as agents for students' well-being transformation. So schools should prepare children for life, a key consideration for well-being. Student well-being is defined as the degree to which a student is functioning effectively in the school community. In addition, another definition of students' well-being is a student's overall development and quality of life, which is increasingly integrated into education policy. A student's well-being is the product of relations between four domains, including psychological, social, cognitive, and physical. Psychological dimension includes the student's sense of purpose in life, self-awareness, affective states, and emotional strength. Social dimension involves the students' interaction with their families, peers, teachers, and their perception of social life within and outside the school. Cognitive dimension includes the students' abilities to use academic expertise, to address challenges, critical reasoning, and the ability to confront concepts from many viewpoints. Physical dimension offers self-reported statistics about how much physical exercise students participate in and what they eat consistently. The students' physical fitness and health represent essential social and emotional well-being factors. Recent findings indicate a strong association between moderate physical exercise, such as walking and cycling, outside the school and the school system's overall scientific performance. Consequently, to improve well-being, schools should offer physical and health education for students. This involvement in physical education in a school will minimize physical inactivity in children outside of school. According to the said literature of well-being, the following are the well-being benchmarks which should be provided in a vertical school setting. The physical environment for safety, convenience, ambient noise, ventilation, temperature. Social relationships environment for student-teacher interactions, student-peer relationships. And recreational activity environment and direct interaction with nature. In this study, physical activities and interaction with the natural environment in vertical schools will occur in mediated space. Mediated spaces are defined as interaction spaces between the indoor and outdoor environment, including semi-open spaces like sheltered rooftops, patios, internal courtyards, and terraces. Transition spaces like foyers, lobbies, atria, and staircases. There are a variety of items that separate outdoor spaces from those inside. Less human regulation than indoors. This would provide a feeling that room is less the property of the person. Varying climatic conditions. The seasonal weather conditions are higher outside than in, although this may be due to clothing, or wind speed. Diversity of space. This is a function that will help people stay relaxed. Variety of use for certain people. Open areas are their workplace. For some, they're connected to recreation, and others are a way of going from one indoor space to another. Wider comfort tolerance. The amount of discomfort currently calculated in outdoor environments is much lower than that projected for indoor spaces. This difference indicates that people could be more accepting of environments outdoors. And previous experience of a space. While most people indoors have a clear sense of what to expect thermally, the prior experience of the environment is less helpful in an outdoor space because the weather is continually changing, and that experience might be unusual. The following items are proposed to be considered for designing open and natural spaces for learning environments, including vertical schools. The outdoor classroom could be a sheltered paved area with enough seating spaces for a whole class or a quiet space for small groups and individuals to study and socialize independently. Environmental education space will provide opportunities for studying nature, growing food, and climate observation, which can also be incorporated into tight urban areas. A school should contain grass sports pitches and hard games courts. The innovative design of outdoor spaces promotes creative play and helps students build social skills. Throughout summer, deciduous trees can provide shade for indoor spaces while allowing the sun to reach the classrooms throughout winter. The influence of urban heat island can be minimized by tree canopies in metropolitan areas. Through designing their grounds, many schools have effectively engaged pupils and the wider community. Finally, I'd like to underline some significant features of this research. Redefining the image of traditional horizontal school buildings in response to higher demand for land and energy in major dense cities. Exploring the importance of having interaction with the natural environment at school settings. And proposing guidelines on what criteria and strategies should be considered in designs for creating mediated spaces in learning environments. On one hand, due to population growth, land scarcity, and transportation difficulties, major cities are denser and make people reside in vertical buildings. On the other hand, in the realm of education, it is apparent that although creating an open natural space in relation to school building has a significant role in improving the quality of learning and well-being, there is still a lack of such natural environments for children in vertical schools. In this study, the performance of the proposed mediated spaces will provide a significant response regarding the spatial requirements for dense high-rise buildings in the educational context. Thanks for your special favor on my presentation.